Alright, so I'm going to show how to open up and disassemble this HP laptop. Let's see, this is an HP Pavilion x360 Convertible, model 14-BA253CL. So if you're trying to figure out how to know, the model number's right there, it's in tiny text. Alright, anyways, we're going to use a needle for this repair, as well as a pH1 and a pH0. You can also use JIS 1 and 0. Alright, so first thing we're going to do is remove the two rubber feet here. So I just use my fingernail for this and just get in the gap and then peel it up just like that. You can use whatever works for you, but I just use my fingernail to peel those up. Alright, once you get those, you can see two hidden screws under there, but let's go ahead and remove this as well. Alright, so underneath here, there's some hidden screws. Let me actually try this with a small flathead screwdriver first to see if I can get it out that way. Alright, so I'm going to actually put a little pressure on this here. Let me actually zoom in and see if I can show this better. But anyways, let's see here. How far can I zoom in there? I don't know if it's going to become blurry. There we go. Alright, so basically you push in there so that way it creates a small gap. Alright, when you push it down, if you can, then you can get a tool in there and then you can kind of just pry it up. So just like this. There we go. And there we go, we got that tool, or that little plastic cover out. Okay, so I didn't need to use a needle for that, I just used the flathead screwdriver. Okay, so now let's go ahead and remove all the screws. Let's zoom back out. Alright, these three on the back towards the hinge are pH1 or JIS1 screws. You want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length. The way I do that is I put the flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them, so you see three across like that. And yeah, you want to keep all the screws in order. Why does it keep doing that? Stay focused, please. Oh, whoa. Okay, there we go. Hopefully my camera will stay focused. I don't know what's going on. Hopefully it's not messed up from when I fell and got these injuries, if you're wondering what that is. Alright, so we got those three out. Now we're going to get the three out down here. And to get those out, you're going to want to switch to a pH0 or JIS0 screwdriver. Alright, so let's go ahead and get those out. Alright. I basically consider this my Halloween makeup now. But it's going to be there for probably a few weeks. Anyways, let's go ahead and get all these screws out. Okay, now that we got all 6 screws out, we're going to get the bottom cover off. So this customer is having an issue with their trackpad where it doesn't actually physically click, and most likely the battery's bulging out and pushing on it, so we'll find out if that's true or not. Alright, once you get all the screws out, you're going to want to get a thin plastic pry tool. I just use my fingernails to get in this gap between the palm rest and here. So what I do is I get my fingernails in there, and then while I do that, I push on the back with my thumbs. Let's see if I can pop it with like this. Alright, so just like this, and then I pop it out just like that. Alright, so here you can see I get my fingernails in there, and then I push on the back with my thumbs, and here you can see that it's separating the layer just like that. Alright, and we're just going to go all the way around. Okay. I think, let's actually take out, there's an SD card here. Make sure to take that out, it might be in the way of the casing. Alright, so let's go ahead and continue popping this out. I think on this model, the keyboard actually pops out up top, so, okay, this one's being really difficult. Let's see. We might have to actually open this computer up all the way. Alright, so I'm going to open it backwards like this, and then let's see if I can continue popping this out. Sorry, I know my bloody hands are in the way. I mean, they're not bloody anymore, they're just scabbed. Alright, so here you can see this cover is coming out. We're going to rotate it over the other way, and we're going to continue doing the same. Okay, just get your fingernails in there, or a pry tool, and I'm just pulling that and pushing with my thumb on the back here. Alright, just like this. I don't know why this side is so much more difficult, so let's go ahead and roll this all the way back here. Did I turn it on accident? Oops. Alright, let me make sure to turn the computer off. It's actually giving a battery alert because the battery is too low. So let me make sure to turn that back off. Alright, I'm going to take this off for now. All right, again, let's go ahead and roll this all the way back here. So we got most of the edges out. Let's see here, let me show you here. Okay, and then I'm gonna get my fingernail in here and just continue popping it out while I'm kind of pulling up. Oh, I cut my thumbnail on that side, so it's gonna be tough. I might have to use my pry tools to do this because I cut my more useful nails. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue working our way over. I'm going to be pulling this open. Oh, it's hard to maneuver this. Okay, let's see if I can do it this way. I keep accidentally turning it on. Okay, turn off. Stop it. Okay, so we're going to continue prying this open. I'm going to use my other nail here. Oh, it's being difficult. Okay, let's go on this side. Here we go. See, I have this thumbnail. Works a lot better. So let's go ahead and go around this way. You want to be careful opening this because there are cables attached underneath. All right, so now we're going to go along this way. Same thing, just keep pulling it up and going around. Getting there. I believe there are clips in the middle as well, so there we go. Okay, so now that we got all of the cover up, you can see we can lightly lift this. But again, you want to be careful. Let me see where the cables are. So is it easier to lift that way or this way? It's easier to lift it this way. Oh yeah, that battery is really bad. Okay, so to make this easier for you guys to see, I'm going to use the hinge to help hold it up. Let me rotate it this way to show you. Alright, so now what you do is, as you can see when you open this, there are the cables in here. So these cables, you need to flip these little plastic latches up. Let me zoom in a bit more. Okay, so we're going to flip this plastic latch up right here. I just use my fingernail. You can use whatever works for you, plastic tools preferably, so you don't short something out. That's the keyboard cable I just removed. Here's the keyboard backlight connector. Flip that, pull that out, and then we got the trackpad connector here. I know you can't see it because the cable's in the way, but there you go. I'm going to flip that latch as well and then pull that out. Okay, and pull that out, and there we go. So now we got the entire keyboard palm rest assembly out. Let's close this. All right, so here you go. That's what it looks like. I'm gonna clean the dust up out from here and here, and I'll be back in a bit. See you guys soon. All right, I'm back. So we cleaned it up a bit, and again, here you can see this battery is actually quite bulged out, and that's why it's having the trackpad issue. So basically, or at least most likely, that's why it's having that issue. So we'll find out once we remove this. So we're gonna disconnect this cable here. If you look inside, actually, there's a 2.5-inch SATA hard drive. If you want to remove this, you flip this latch up, and then you can pull that cable out. I'm not gonna be doing all of that. The customer just wants me to replace the battery to see if it'll fix the trackpad and battery issue. But if you do remove this, let's see, are there any tricks to it? You just pull this cable out and then you can actually pull this whole rubber piece up. I don't think it's mounted with anything. So if I pull this, yeah, you can see this piece comes up just like this. And then you're gonna have to undo all this tape and stuff to transfer this cable over to the new one. So it's a little bit tricky with that tape because sometimes, oops, the rubber piece went out on top. So I need to make sure it goes back underneath. Sure it sits back properly. There we go. All right, so anyways, main thing we're doing here is the battery. If you're wondering where the RAM and stuff is, I actually see it underneath. Oh, what's in here? There's something loose inside. I don't know if it's in the top or the bottom. That doesn't sound good. I need to find out where that is because I don't want that rolling around inside. Anyways, let's go ahead and remove the battery. So we're going to undo this cable, flip those latches up. All right. Oh, it's held down with adhesive, so we're going to have to be careful. Let's go ahead and pull this side, and then can we get this side out? All right, there we go. So to peel this up, you want to be very careful. Grab this cable and pull it this way as you peel it up. You don't want to fold it backwards, so you try and keep it as flat as possible. And that should hopefully keep this cable intact. All right, so there we go. And I'm holding my hand on top so that way the cable doesn't just go rip off and tear. All right, there we go. Now we're going to remove the screws for the battery. So using the PH1 or JS1 screwdriver, let's go ahead and remove the screws. So there's 4 screws along the top here. Again, you want to keep all these screws in order. because they can be different size, shape, and lengths, and if you mix them up, you can damage the computer. Alright, and as I was saying, there is replaceable RAM, it looks like, but it's underneath the motherboard, and I'm not going to be taking that out, again, because the customer just wants me to replace the battery and see if the trackpad will be repaired. Alright, then you got 3 screws down here at the bottom, and remove those as well. I need to figure out what's rolling around in there because I don't want the computer to kill itself. Alright, there we go. Alright, now that you got all those batteries out, you can get underneath here. I just used my fingernails and then just lift up the battery just like that. Here you go. That's the inflated battery, and this is what the replacement battery looks like. You can see how much thinner it is. It's not like all bulged out like that. Okay, so we'll set aside that bad battery. Again, I don't know what's making that rattling sound. That's not good. Let's actually, what's the easiest thing to take out? Maybe I can lift the speaker here. So I'm gonna disconnect the speaker cable here and just kind of pinch that and wiggle the connector slowly. And there we go. All right, there's some screws holding this into place. So I'm gonna remove this one screw here, up here. Hopefully that will be enough that I can remove the speakers, and then one screw down here. All right, just like that, remove those 2 speakers. Let's see now if we can lift this up. Uh-oh. Oh, there's one more screw in the middle. Don't forget that one. You don't want to snap your speakers in half. Alright. Okay, we'll lift that up, and let's see if whatever's in there rattling around will fall towards... Oh, there we go. So I don't know what's with all these little metal covers. They're just like falling out. When I was cleaning it out, this metal cover just flew off. So somebody, whoever worked on this before, or maybe they dropped it a lot and the vibration caused it to fall out. Anyways, I'm going to get that metal piece out before it causes any damage. Alright, it's not really needed, so I'm not going to take the motherboard out to put that back in wherever it came from. But there we go. Alright, let's go ahead and plug this speaker connector back in. Just like that. Is there anything else rattling in here? Huh. There's some more stuff rattling in there. Let me actually check and make sure we get everything out of there. So I'm gonna get this. If you're doing this, you want to be careful because all these cables on this side are looped around over there. Okay, so you want to be very careful not to accidentally yank those out. Okay, got a little piece of plastic out. I don't know where this stuff is coming from. Hopefully everything else is okay. Let's go ahead and get this plugged back in. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, sounds good now. I don't hear anything rattling around. Let's go ahead and put all these screws back in. If you're wondering, the battery, the main battery also acts as the BIOS, CMOS, or RTC, real-time clock battery, whatever you want to call it. Because I get a lot of people that ask me where's the BIOS battery, and it's actually that. Okay. Alright, so we're gonna go ahead and get all these screws back in. Oh, the trackpad is actually, I forgot, it's actually up here. So here I can see it's actually clicking. So before, the battery was pushing on this and it made it very hard to click, but now I can actually hear it clicking just fine. Okay, so we're going to get the new battery in. New battery in here. The design's weird because you have to plug the battery in before you can plug all this other stuff in. So we're just going to push the battery connector back down. So you have no choice. You have to work on like a live electrical computer. So you want to be very careful at this point because the battery's connected, not to drop any metal conductive stuff on the motherboard or accidentally short anything out. Okay, and you want to be very careful putting the connectors back in to make sure you get them straight. Don't put them in crooked, or sometimes you can cause damage. Usually these cables won't really have any issue, but if you're messing with the LCD LVDS connector, this one, you want to make sure that after disconnecting the battery or removing the battery, that you press and hold the power button for 15 seconds just to drain any residual power. Otherwise, you can short circuit fry the the screen LCD backlight circuit, or sometimes you can actually damage the cable and the screen itself. All right, anyways, we got all the screws back in. Let's get this cable back in. Okay, just like that. Line it up and push it down. All right, this one too. Get that in. Try and get it as straight as possible. Try not to get it in diagonally, and then clip that down. Now you can go ahead and stick those down. All right, we should be good. Now let's go ahead and plug back in the top panel. So I'm gonna again use the hinge to help hold it up so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Let me see if I can zoom in. Oh, let me point out a few other things. So you got the, I believe this is either for the webcam or the touchscreen. Got the DC jack or charge port connector here. If you need to replace that, I think you actually have to take the whole motherboard out because they put this metal bracket underneath this part of the board, which is kind of stupid. All right, then you got the wireless card right here underneath the motherboard as well. And yeah, then you got the power button here. If you somehow damage the power button, you can replace that. All right, anyways, oh, and then the volume buttons on the headphone jack are also a separate board. All right, anyways, let's go ahead and put this thing back together. The model number for the motherboard, you'll want to check yours, but there's a model number there if for some reason you want to look for that. But yeah, all right, let's open this back up and let's go ahead and put this back together. So let's zoom in a bit so you can see. Okay, make sure you get it the right way. Make sure these latches are all up. Make sure that latch is up. Let's go ahead and put this one in first. Get it lined up. Do this, however, makes it so that you have enough slack to work on it. I'm trying to do it this way so that you guys can see. Normally, you wouldn't want to do it like this. You would want it like resting on your desk or something. But go, get this cable in. There we go. Oh, this is going to be difficult like this. Let's see if I can. Okay. To make sure I'm holding this up while I flip that latch down. Okay, hold that still. There we go. Perfect. All right, and then the keyboard cable. Get that in as well. Come on. There we go. And then while you're holding that cable, push that latch down. Locked it in place. All right. So let's go ahead and put this thing back together and zoom back out. All right. So to put this back together, it's pretty straightforward. Just smash everything back down where the clips are around the edges. Okay. Very straightforward. You can also push the middle because there are clips in there as well. All right. Oops. I think I accidentally. Make sure that you get the rubber piece in right. This one was kind of coming out a little bit, so let me pop that back out to fix it. Hopefully I can pop this one out separately. Come on. Go. All right. Make sure the rubber piece goes in properly. There we go. Click that in. Good. All right. Double check all the clips look good all the way around. Looks good. Looks good. Trackpad clicks just fine now. Okay. Make sure, of course, that the computer turns on. I might have to plug it in. I hear the fan spinning. Okay, again, because we removed the battery that acts as the BIOS or CMOS or RTC battery, real-time clock battery, it's going to take a while to start up because the BIOS is resetting, and then you'll get this BIOS reset message. Once you get that, just press the enter key, and then make sure to check the date and time of your computer and set it back up properly. All right, but anyways, we're going to put back the rest of the screws. I'm going to wait just to make sure it boots up properly and shut it down before I put all the screws, because you don't want the hard drive booting Windows as you're putting the screws in it, or you can actually damage it from the shock of all the shaking around. But here you see it's booting up just fine. Okay, so I'm going to wait till it finishes booting and shut it down. Also want to test everything touchscreen or whatever if you didn't already. Usually I do that just by using the touchscreen to shut down the computer. So the thing is still spinning. I don't know if you can even see it because of the glare. Can you see the spinning dots? Kind of. Yeah. Alright, so here you can see this computer's so slow just because it's a spinning hard drive, not an SSD. So I highly recommend upgrading these computers to SSDs. It makes a huge difference. Basically, you'd want to clone your hard drive to the SSD and then swap it out. You can also start new if you create a Windows 10 USB installer. If you need any of that information, feel free to post a comment in the comment section below, and I will send you a link for videos I made on those processes. But yeah, we're gonna wait for this thing to finish starting up. But other than that, after that, we just put back all the screws and put the little rubber feet back on, and that's all there is to it. Let's put this actually, so I don't forget. Okay, wow, this thing is taking forever to boot. Alright, maybe I should just put the screws on right now. I think because this one I can use upside down with the keyboard. Let me see. Okay, it's almost done. Alright, at least I think. Oh yeah, I need to test the trackpad anyway, so let's wait for it. Assuming it's still on. Okay, I still see the hard drive light, power light on. So, why is the screen just completely black? I don't even see the mouse. Come on. I hope it's not shutting itself down. Let's see, maybe I have to plug it in. Do I have my HP plug here? Okay, got this. Let's plug it in. It's charging. I still don't see the mouse. That's very weird. I mean, the fan is still on, so the computer is on, but gotta wait for this. Oh, there we go. I see the mouse cursor now. Wow, this computer boots so slow. Come on. I'll give you another 1 or 2 minutes. Guess I'll tell the customer they should upgrade this to an SSD. It's so slow. It's still booting. Come on. Come on, computer. You can do it. Touchscreen? Okay, touchscreen's working. I hear the fans pulling up. It's still taking forever. Wow, what is taking so long? Still loading. I tried doing Windows P to see if it's trying to output the video to another screen, but nope. So, I don't know what's going on. I don't see a spinning dot or anything. Oh, okay, it's popping up the projector screen because I pushed Windows P. PC screen only is fine. Wow, this computer, yeah, the hard drive is pretty much toast. It's taking so long, I think I'm just going to put the screws in now. So let's go ahead and fold this back like this. Oops, I don't want to lose the keyboard cover there. Alright, so I'm going to work on it like this, and let's go ahead and just put the screws back in. Alright, so we're going to take the front screws first. Actually, since I have the PH1 or JAS1 screwdriver, let's go ahead and put the back screws in first. Alright, get the screw in. Alright, get the other screw in. I think it's almost done loading because the fan slowed down. Alright, let's get the rubber feet in. Okay. Go. Alright, Alright, let's switch now back to the PH0 or JAS0 screwdriver and get those screws in. These screws go in at an angle, they don't go straight down, so make sure that you're putting them in at that angle. Alright, let's go ahead and grab the last couple screws. Sorry, I can't see behind the screen. Oh, there's a magnet in here. Alright, tighten that. I think I just got a package delivery. Got that one and this one. And then don't forget the little plastic cover here as well. And we'll just put that back in. Alright, so there we go. Let's flip this over and see if it boot. Okay, it did boot. So here you can see it booted up. So we should be good to go. I'm just going to swipe the screen up. And let's go ahead now and shut this down. So touchscreen is working. It's just super slow, this computer. And we're going to actually restart one time because it's always a good idea to restart your computer once after doing a major hardware change on Windows, because Windows doesn't reset the system files unless you do a restart, unless you turn off the fast startup. But anyways, that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video helped you guys. If it did, again, please like, subscribe, share my channel with others. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel so I can continue making these videos for a living. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Alright, let's drop this. Bye.